Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something from the depths of your soul. Not your logic, not your circumstances, but from that quiet place inside you that still dares to dream. Do you know the power that lives within you? Do you realize that one shift in your belief can rewrite your entire life? Today, we're not here to talk about surface-level motivation. We're here to awaken something divine, because what you believe about yourself isn't just a mindset, it's a spiritual alignment. It's the spark that ignites purpose. It's the force that turns your pain into power. And I came to remind you, you are not here by accident. You are here because there's more inside you. And once you believe that, truly believe that nothing in this world can stop you. Let's begin. Belief is the unseen engine that drives everything. It is the foundation of transformation. Not talent, not money, not background. You can have all the skills in the world, but if you don't believe you're worthy of success, you will sabotage every opportunity. You can come from the richest family, have the best education, wear the nicest suit in the room, but if your internal dialogue says I'm not enough, then nothing external will ever be enough. Transformation begins the moment belief is planted in the heart. The world often puts its focus on talent. We celebrate the gifted, the prodigies, the naturally brilliant. But there are countless stories of talented people who never fulfilled their purpose, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked belief. On the flip side, there are those who were counted out, overlooked, underestimated, and still rose. Why? Because they believed. Belief creates energy, belief creates vision, belief builds courage where fear used to live. Money can buy access, but belief opens doors that no amount of cash can. Money can pay for opportunity, but it can't give you the hunger to seize it. It can't give you the fire to push when things get hard. Belief does that. Belief is what gets you up when the odds are stacked against you. Belief is what keeps you moving when everything says quit. Your background might explain you, but it does not define you. Where you came from is not where you're going, unless you let it be. Many people stay trapped in the story of their past because they believe that's all there is. But the minute you shift your belief, you shift your trajectory. Your past may have brought you pain, but it also gave you perspective. It taught you survival, it taught you strength. And once you start believing that you are more than your circumstances, your life starts changing. Belief turns limitation into leverage. It rewrites the script. It reclaims authority. It empowers you to stop waiting for permission and start taking action. You don't wait until you feel ready. You believe that readiness lies inside the decision. That's the key. Belief doesn't always come with proof. Sometimes you have to believe before the evidence shows up. Sometimes you have to believe in the dark what you saw in the light. Transformation isn't a random accident. It's not a lucky break. It's a decision made in faith, carried out through consistency and sustained by belief. Belief gives you access to power that talent alone can't unlock. It's the soul's declaration that I was made for more. And once that belief is in place, you begin to grow into it. You think different, speak different, move different. Not because anything around you has changed, but because something inside you has come alive. Belief changes your inner world, and when your inner world changes, the outer world eventually catches up. That's why belief is the foundation. Because before transformation shows up in your life, it has to first take root in your spirit. You can't outperform the story you believe about yourself. No matter how much potential you have, how many opportunities come your way, or how much support surrounds you, if the narrative playing in your mind tells you that you're not good enough, you will always hit an invisible ceiling. That ceiling isn't built by your circumstances, it's constructed by your beliefs. We rise or fall to the level of the story we tell ourselves. That inner dialogue is not just background noise, it is the script that directs your life. Every action you take, every risk you avoid, every goal you hesitate to pursue stems from one core question: what do you believe about you? If deep down you believe you're unworthy, undeserving, broken, or destined to fail, then you will unconsciously align your behavior to prove that story true. You'll hold yourself back, you'll play small, you'll self-sabotage even when everything else says you're ready to soar. It's not that the opportunity wasn't real, it's that your belief wasn't. The story you believe becomes the identity you live from. Identity governs behavior. If you see yourself as someone who always messes up, Then you'll start treating mistakes as confirmation instead of feedback. You'll reinforce your limitations instead of challenging them. And you won't even realize you're doing it, because we don't fight for what we don't believe we deserve. That's why transformation starts in the mind. You have to renew the narrative before you can rewrite the results. This is why some people, no matter how much encouragement they receive, still feel stuck, because it's not just about hearing what others say, it's about internalizing a new truth about yourself. Until you believe differently, nothing can change permanently. You can get new clothes, move to a new city, start a new relationship. But if your inner story stays the same, eventually your external world will mirror that story again. We often don't even realize the stories we've inherited. Stories from childhood, from rejection, from trauma, from failure. Stories planted by parents, teachers, friends, or enemies. Subtle words that took root and shaped how we see ourselves. You'll never be anything. You're not smart enough. You always mess things up. These aren't just phrases. They're seeds, and once they grow into beliefs, they shape everything. But the good news is that stories can be rewritten. You have the power to challenge the lie and replace it with truth. You are not bound to the narrative that was handed to you. You can edit the script. You can choose to believe that you are capable, worthy, resilient, and made for more. And once you begin to believe it, not just intellectually, but deep in your soul, your actions will begin to align. You'll walk with a different confidence. You'll stop seeking approval and start living with purpose. You'll stop waiting for breakthrough and start becoming the breakthrough. What you believe about yourself sets the limits for your life. And if you want to break those limits, you have to start by breaking the old story. Because until the story changes, the outcome can't. You can't outperform the story you believe, so make sure it's a story worth living. True belief is not forged in comfort. It doesn't come from applause or convenience or easy victories. True belief is forged in the dark places where there are no cheerleaders, no confirmation, no clarity. It is born in struggle, shaped in silence, and strengthened in solitude. The moments when everything around you seems to be falling apart, when your prayers feel unanswered, when the dream looks further than ever, that's where belief is tested and made real. Struggle strips away the surface. It exposes what's real and burns off what's not. In the struggle, you come face with your own limits, your own doubts, your own fears. You confront the voices that tell you to quit, to settle, to lower the standard. And it's in that battle, when no one is watching and no reward is guaranteed, that belief is either abandoned or forged like steel. Real belief isn't loud. It's not always confident. Sometimes it's a whisper that says, keep going, when everything else says, you're done. Silence is where belief finds depth. The world is noisy, filled with distractions and constant opinions, but when you enter the silence, when the crowd is gone, when the stage is empty, when the likes stop coming, that's when you discover what you truly believe. Can you still move forward when no one's validating you? Can you still push when no one is clapping? The silence is a sacred space where you confront your motives, your identity, your purpose. It's where belief becomes internalized. You stop relying on external noise to confirm your worth and start listening to the quiet voice of conviction inside your soul. Solitude is the proving ground. It's where belief becomes ownership, not borrowed from others. Not repeated from a sermon or a book, but built from experience. There are lessons you can only learn alone. There's a strength that comes only from walking through fire without someone holding your hand. You begin to realize that belief isn't something given to you. It's something you choose over and over in the face of resistance. Solitude teaches you to depend on your inner compass, to trust that the vision inside you is real, even when no one else sees it yet. There's something sacred about struggle, silence, and solitude. They don't feel good. They don't look glamorous, but they do something that success never could. They forge authenticity. They create a belief that's not based on hype, but on truth. A belief that doesn't break under pressure because it was built under pressure. And once you've developed belief in those conditions, you become unshakable, because if you can believe in the dark, you'll be unstoppable in the light. So, when you find yourself in a season of struggle, when the silence is deafening, when the solitude feels suffocating, remember this is where your belief is being shaped. It's not a punishment, it's preparation. The strength you're asking for isn't denied, it's being developed. And one day you'll look back on these moments not as your breaking point, but as your building point. Because belief that survives the struggle doesn't just change your mindset, it changes your life. Belief on its own is powerful, but belief without action is just potential unrealized. It's like a spark never given fuel, full of promise yet lacking impact. When belief is backed by action, something shifts. It creates momentum. It takes invisible faith and turns it into visible progress. You stop just thinking about who you could be and start becoming it, one decision at a time. Belief gives you the vision, but action gives it form. Momentum isn't created in grand, dramatic moments. It's built in the small, repeated choices you make when no one's watching. It's waking up early even when you don't feel like it. It's showing up again after failure. It's saying yes to the uncomfortable, yes to the unknown, and yes to the growth that comes with stretching beyond your limits. Every action reinforces the belief, and with every step, the vision you carry inside starts to take shape outside. Mastery is not achieved through talent alone. It is earned through consistent action fueled by belief. When you believe you're capable of more, you begin to challenge your comfort zone. You study harder, you train longer, you push deeper, and in doing so, you begin to master your craft, your mindset, and your habits. Mastery is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about the relentless pursuit of better. Belief tells you it's worth it. Action proves that you mean it. Belief without action can feel good, but it won't move you forward. You can dream all day, plan all day, even speak life over your goals, but until you act, nothing changes. But once you act, once you take that belief and move it multiplies. One action leads to the next. One win fuels another. That's how momentum is built. It doesn't require massive moves. It just requires consistent movement in the direction of your purpose. The legacy you leave isn't built in a moment. It's built over time through actions rooted in belief. Legacy is what you're remembered for. It's the imprint your life leaves long after you're gone. And it's not just about success, it's about significance. It's about making impact, not just income. It's about how your belief inspired action that changed lives. Not just yours, but those who crossed your path, who watched your journey, who were touched by your decisions. When your belief drives action and your action becomes consistent, your life starts to move with power. You stop drifting and start directing. You're no longer just reacting to life, you're creating it. You're not waiting for change, you're becoming the change, and that shift is what builds mastery. That commitment is what builds momentum. That consistency is what builds legacy. There's a rhythm to success, and belief backed by action is the beat that keeps it moving. It's the driving force behind every breakthrough, every transformation, every powerful story that left a mark on the world. Because people remember action, they follow impact, and they're changed by the courage of those who didn't just believe, they moved. They didn't just hope, they acted. And through that union of belief and action, they became unstoppable. When belief is unshakable, your potential becomes unstoppable. The two are deeply connected. Belief is the root, and potential is the fruit. You can have all the gifts, talents, and opportunities in the world, but if your belief is fragile, you'll never fully unlock what's inside you. On the other hand, when your belief becomes rock, solid, when it's no longer swayed by circumstances, criticism, or setbacks, your potential starts to roar. It begins to reveal itself in ways you never imagined possible. Unshakable belief isn't about arrogance. It's not about pretending you have it all figured out. It's about knowing deep in your soul that what's inside you is greater than what's around you. It's a quiet, relentless certainty that no matter how tough the journey gets, you will rise, you will push through, you will break through, and once that belief is rooted, the fear of failure begins to fade, the fear of judgment loses its grip, and the fear of the unknown turns into fuel. Your potential doesn't reveal itself in safety, It shows up when you're stretched, when you step into the unknown, when you bet on yourself even if nobody else does. That kind of courage only comes from unshakable belief. It's the kind of belief that says, even if I fall, I'll rise again. Even if I lose, I'll learn. Even if it's hard, I'm still moving forward. That mindset doesn't just unlock potential, it unleashes it. People often wait until they feel ready. They wait until they're confident, until everything aligns perfectly. But unshakable belief doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates them. It moves first, speaks first, acts first, and trusts that the rest will catch up. That's how lives are changed. That's how leaders are born, not by waiting, but by believing so deeply in the vision that hesitation is replaced with action. When you believe without question, your energy shifts. You stop second guessing your decisions. You stop shrinking to fit into people's expectations. You stop playing small to make others comfortable. You stand tall in who you are, and you live boldly from that place. That kind of belief is magnetic. It draws the right people, opens the right doors, and creates the right momentum. Unshakable belief also creates resilience. When setbacks come, and they will, you don't fold. You don't retreat. You reset and come back stronger, because deep down you know the storm can't cancel the purpose. The delay doesn't mean denial. The challenge isn't the end, it's a chapter, and with every challenge you endure, your potential expands. There's nothing more powerful than a person who knows who they are and refuses to be moved. That's what belief does. It grounds you, it centers you, and it sets your potential free. Not because life gets easier, but because your resolve gets stronger. And when that inner belief becomes your foundation, there's no limit to what you can do. You don't just chase dreams, you build them. You don't just talk about purpose, you walk in it. Because when belief is unshakable, your potential isn't just possible, it's inevitable. So, wherever you are right now, whether you're rising, rebuilding, or barely hanging on, remember this. Belief is your beginning, not your circumstances, not your past, not their opinion, your belief. Believe boldly. Believe fiercely. Believe without apology, because the power to transform your life has never been outside of you. It's been within you all along, waiting for you to say yes. Yes to becoming, yes to rising, yes to the vision, yes to the fight. Yes to the unshakable belief that you are more than enough and destined for more than you've seen. And when that belief becomes your foundation, you won't just survive, you'll soar. You won't just dream, you'll dominate. Because nothing can stop a heart fully convinced that its purpose is greater than its pain. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you for believing again. And thank you for becoming the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Now go, the world is waiting.